Friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment and cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. Do not throw us. Ooh. Do not throw us into gold fever gambits. And do not use us as straw men for miscalculations and blind spots. Do not make our work environments Darwinist jungles. This is what exactly happened. A lot of people got the axe because of how bad and how much of a loss Redfall was. So, guys, we got some bad news. Microsoft had decided to close a couple of studios. So, in very little surprise, the first one being closed is the Redfall developer Arkane Austin. We knew this was going to happen. Redfall was a massive failure. It costed quite a few millions of dollars to make. A lot of work put into it. A lot of developers worked on it, and it was just a bad idea from inception and released in an absolutely, completely broken state. And it was just a bad game. Like, I think Redfall might have been one of the worst games of last year. I would say it was way up there for one of the worst games of 2023. Probably the worst AAA, I would say. Because I think, like, considering the backing and stuff, I could probably count it as a AAA at this point. It looked cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess the first trailer looked cool, but the gameplay itself did not look cool. So I'm not very surprised about this. I'm not very surprised about Redfall. However, HifiRush developer Tango Gameworks also got cut. This one is shocking. I want to read their post because HifiRush was an indie game that got released last year. And it was a huge surprise. It was like a big indie darling. I didn't get to play it, but I did watch the game. I thought it was a very, very interesting, cool game. Why is this broken? What the hell? Yeah, I thought it was an actually really, really interesting game. And it was very, very sad to see it go. So Tango Game Studios made it. Yeah, very, very sad news about that. They worked really hard on the game. The game was a massive success. It, I think, sold what amounts to probably around 2 million copies. And I think that does not include Game Pass. So it was bona fide success. However, I want you guys to know, this is the problem. And also there's more devastating cuts at Bethesda. This is the problem when a giant company, and we've seen this happen with Blizzard, we've seen this happen with Sony, we've seen this happen with, Twitch, not a game company, but, a giant tech company. We've seen this happen with a lot of companies. And when a company that has, Embracer Group is one of the biggest examples of this. When a gaming company has many companies under it, and it puts all of its eggs, or like a lot of its eggs, a lot of money, into one basket, and that basket fails, the companies under it that had nothing to do with it a lot of times, they face massive cuts. And there was a couple of issues that we'll be talking about. Why was Tango Gameworks closed? Why was Arkane closed? We'll cover this and more in this video. Let's start with the statement. Microsoft has closed a number of Bethesda studios, including Redfall maker Arkane Austin, HifiRush, and Evil Within. Evil Within I've not played, but I heard good things. Developer Tango Gameworks, and more in devastating cuts at Bethesda. IGN can confirm. Alpha Dog Games, mobile game maker of The Mighty Doom, will also close. This is actually really sad because apparently this Mighty Doom game was pretty good. It was like a little like chibi version of Doom. It's kind of like kind of made it into a bit of like a little like bullet hell gotcha kind of game. But nothing too pay to win egregious or anything. It was actually a pretty well made game. It looked like, and very high reviews on Google Play Store, at least that I saw. Kind of sad that seeing that close. Roundhouse Studios will be absorbed by Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I'm not sure, what does Roundhouse do? I'm gonna Google this. Let's see what Roundhouse Studios does. I don't know them off the top of my head. Let's see what they make. There we go. There we go. Yeah, exactly. You can absolutely do that. Roadhouse is based in the U.S., incorporated in 2019. A continuation of Human Head, immediately following Rune. Oh, okay, so they made the Rune games. Interesting. Those were okay games. They were, I mean, technically successful, but nothing huge. But they had some pretty cool mechanics. So what happened was, I guess they were absorbed by Bethesda, pretty much. Oh, Prey 2. That's brutal. So they were working with Prey, and Prey 2 never got released. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, and they contributed to Redfall. Okay, so as they worked on Redfall, they got the axe essentially. Not fully though. When this says absorb right here, guys, this is like the better thing that can happen in this situation. Where when you're working on a certain game anyways, you just all of the good developers that did, good parts of a game, they can be just absorbed by another game company. And in this case, Elder Scrolls Online, which is a significantly positive game. They make good money. They have good content. I don't play ESO anymore, but I used to. And it's just a good game. So this is like one of the better things that can happen. This entire studio got absorbed. Microsoft, currently valued at $3 trillion. Wow, that's more than $20. Did not say how many staff will lose their job, but significant layoffs are inevitable. True. But like this will be for like all the closings pretty much. Like when they say absorbed, that means the majority of these people will be actually just brought in another company. IGN has asked Bethesda for comment. Microsoft declined to further expand when contacted. On Redfall, the disastrous, yeah, we all knew this sucked. Co-op game will now not receive any promised updates, which is the most unsurprising news possible, including an offline mode and new character DLC, as Microsoft has ended all development on the game. As much as I hate to say it, this is probably a good thing. Like at some point, you don't want to throw good money after bad, after worse. The Redfall was a waste from the start. Frankly, I think this game should never have come out. It was a loss leader for Microsoft in every single way, except it had no positive impact at all whatsoever. It was just kind of a waste of dev resources, a waste of money, and a waste of talent. It's not a game that was bad universally. It's just like pretty much every aspect of the game did not gel well together. And the product itself was just not good, especially compared to like all the other games coming out at the time. And so there were shining parts of the game. There were pretty interesting aspects of the game, which is why a lot of the people working on it got absorbed, which, that's good. I don't want a lot of devs to lose their jobs over this. But this was, again, a game that should never have come out. And I think the reason that we're having the massive layoffs today is because the game came out and because they were trying to give a certain level of updates before they realized, yeah, this is just a bad idea. Microsoft said Redfall will remain online to play. It's probably not going to cost too much to run the servers, considering no one plays the game. So this is actually like not a huge big deal. But I do feel bad for all the people who bought this game expecting updates. That is sad to see. It does suck when this happens, for sure. And will provide a make good offer for those who bought the Hero DLC. That's good. Okay. So anyone who prepaid for the DLC, they'll probably get a refund or something of some kind. That is good. Let's read Arkane's discussion over here. Arkane Studios. Now, these guys made some pretty banger games. They made the Dishonored games. Those are huge games. And it's really, really sad to see this happen. Okay. Today it was announced that Arkane Austin will close and development will not continue on Redfall. To everyone that supported the work from our Austin studio over the years, thank you. Thank you for spending time in our worlds and making them your own. Arkane Lyon will continue their focus on immersive experience while they're hard at work with their upcoming project. So it's important to know Arkane Lyon. So a lot of times with these larger game companies, they have different branches. Bethesda had Bethesda North, for example. They had all kinds of other things. Arkane had two different branches. One was working on Redfall, that was Arkane Austin, and Arkane Lyon is working on the new upcoming Blade game, which, unlike dog shit Redfall, is a single player experience with heavy focus on story and things like that. So this is much more in the wheelhouse of what we all wanted Redfall to be. We wanted it to be a single player game. We didn't want games as a service tripe. And it was really sad to see where that game went. So Arkane Lyon is essentially another shot at the apple, and hopefully it works out well, because I don't know about you guys, but I love Blade. I'm extremely excited for Blade. I want this game to succeed for sure, and I really hope it's good. But yeah, so Arkane Lyon is still working on Blade. It looks like Redfall players who purchased the Hero Pass as part of the premium Bite Back Edition or the premium Bite Back upgrade will be eligible to receive the value of their upgrade. So it looks like they're going to just get their money back, which is huge. That is good. That is a company that is doing right in a shitty situation. This is not a good situation in any way, shape, or form, but at least they're getting the refund. While there will be no further updates, Redfall servers will remain online. That's also pretty good. Anyone who plays this, very lackluster game, at least they can enjoy it. Hopefully upcoming. Okay, more details. Arkane Lyon, which, like I said, was working on Marvel's Blade, survives the cull, which is not surprising. Marvel's Blade looks pretty good. We only saw a single trailer, and we only know some scant details, like I said, single player and so on. But hopefully it'll end up okay. As the Bethesda Game Studios, Fallout, Elder Scrolls Starfield, and Machine Games, which is working on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, also looks pretty good. Doom developer id Software is also unaffected. This makes sense. So it looks like they're it says it right here. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us. Yeah, it's always sad to see any developers get fired. But it makes sense. A company has to be profitable. I'm sorry, it really does suck. And when a massive game company has a huge loss, in this case Redfall, even if we wanted Redfall to not come out in the first place, it did. These are consequences. This is, but it's really shitty that HifiRush got the axe. And I don't know if they'll talk about it. They don't talk about the leader of the studio of HifiRush leaving. If they don't talk about that, then that's probably the reason why this happened. But we'll see. But yeah. Reprioritization of titles. It looks like, considering the active games are Bethesda Studios, which are big games, Marvel's Blade, which is going to be a huge game, Indiana Jones, big game, Doom, really big positive game franchise that usually ends up with a W. It looks like they're trying to focus on games that they think will almost for sure do well, that are focusing on the single player experience especially. It looks like they're prioritizing away from games as a service as well, at least on this side. They still have 76, for example, which is games as a service, but a relatively successful one. Yeah, this is a good thing. This is generally it's not great news, but it's better news than we could have hoped at this point, I think. And here is Matt Booty, head of Xbox Game Studios and actual head. Their discussion. Today, I'm sharing changes we are making to our Bethesda and ZeniMax teams. These changes are grounded in prioritizing high-impact titles and further investing in Bethesda's portfolio of blockbuster games and beloved worlds, which you have nurtured over many decades. Maybe this means they're starting to work on games like Fallout 5 as well, considering how popular Fallout has become over the past month. I don't know. To double down on these franchises and invest to build new ones requires us to look across the business to identify the opportunities that are best positioned for success. I think, considering what they're highlighting, I agree with this. This reprioritization of titles and resources means a few teams will be realigned to others, and that some of our colleagues will be leaving us, which sucks. Here are the changes going into effect. Arkane, I probably should have read the statement first, man. Shit. Arkane Austin, the studio, will close with some of the members of the team joining other studios to work on projects across Bethesda. Yeah, Like, for example, there were great people that worked at Arkane Austin. Look at the Dishonored group. Those games were bangers. Having some of the DNA of like immersive first person action combat and stuff like that put into Bethesda is actually, I think, a really, really smart decision. One of the weakest parts of Starfield, for example, is like some of the combat. And you're just like, yeah, it's kind of, it feels a little dated. You know, having a little bit of Dishonored level combat into those games, not a bad thing, guys. Not a bad thing. Arkane Austin has a history of making impactful and innovative games, and its pedigree that everyone should be proud of. Redfall's previous update will be its last. Yep, we already read that. Alpha Dog Studios. This is so sad. Yeah, the Doom game. Mighty Doom will be sunset on August 7th, and will be turning off the ability for players to make any purchase of the game. Mighty Doom has only been in existence for like 6 months or so, right? Let me check. Yeah, this game has not even been in existence for a while. Oh, no, a couple of years. Yeah, so it actually released in 2021. My mistake. Wait, it says 2023 here. Am I right? When did it release? Okay, let's see when it released on Google Play. Maybe I'm thinking of this wrong. URL was not found. Okay, that's weird. Let's check its wiki. Yeah, top-down shooter. I did play it. Okay, so it officially, I don't know what I was reading. It was a soft launch. Okay, so the official worldwide release was last year. So it was only available for just over a year. That kind of sucks, man. That kind of sucks a lot. Holy smokes. Welcome, Mo. How you doing, buddy? It is good to see you. How have you been, my friend? Welcome. Tell me about your night. Good to see you. Tango Gameworks. This one is brutal. Tango Gameworks will also close. We're thankful to the contributions to Bethesda and players around the world. HifiRush will be continued to be available. And I think it is important to know. Let's see. Is anyone covering Tango? But it's still sad to see. I mean, HifiRush is apparently a giant banger and it sold well, so it's really weird. I hope a lot of those people were absorbed by the other companies. Roundhouse Games will be joining ZeniMax Studios. They played a key role in game launches, especially Redfall, and bringing them to ZOS to work for Elder Scrolls Online means we can do even more. That's good. With this consolidation, we hope to invest more deeply in our portfolio of games and new IP. A small number of roles across select Bethesda publishing corporate teams will also be eliminated. Because when you have multiple game company roles doing the same thing, it's kind of a waste. That's what they're trying to say there. That makes sense. That's kind of a typical thing that happens. Those who will be impacted will be notified today and treat the departing colleagues with respect and compassion. We'll provide full support. I do hope that, yeah, okay, so including severance benefits informed by local laws. Okay, we don't really know the details, but I'm glad that they're, the people leaving aren't being completely left in the lurch. It is always sad when that happens. These changes are not a reflection of the creativity and skill of the talented individuals. I acknowledge that these changes are also disruptive to the very support teams across ZeniMax and Bethesda that bring our games to the market. We're making these tough decisions to create capacity to increase investment in other parts of our portfolio. Bethesda remains one of the key pillars of Xbox with a strong portfolio of amazing games and thriving communities. As we look to the future, there's an impressive lineup of games to the horizon. 2024 alone, we have, this is good to know, Shattered Space, which is Starfield's expansion. Fallout 76 is Skyline Valley, so 76 is getting another expansion. Indiana Jones The Great Circle, so I guess that's a confirmation that is coming out today. And Elder Scrolls Online Golden Road, so that's another expansion for ESO. As we align our plans and resources to best set ourselves up for success, our teams across Arkane Lyon, Bethesda, id Software, Machine Games, ZeniMax, and Bethesda Publishing will be well positioned to build new IP, new game concepts, and expand. Yeah, this is this is over and above 3 months ago when 1,900 people were laid off Microsoft. That was a big layoff. That was a big, brutal layoff. So yeah, bad news, guys, but I wanted to make sure I covered it. These are terrible cuts. Friendly reminder that video games are an entertainment and cultural industry, and your business as a corporation is to take care of your artists and entertainers and help them create value for you. Do not throw us. Do not throw us into gold fever gambits. And do not use us as strawmen for miscalculations and blind spots. Do not make our work environments Darwinist jungles. This is what exactly happened. A lot of people got the axe because of how bad and how much of a loss Redfall was. And on a lesser level, but as well, it was a loss. People were expecting Starfield to sell like fucking giga gangbusters, and it didn't. I think it did pretty decently, but we don't have the numbers for Starfield. But it's very clear it wasn't the huge release everyone wanted. Yeah, exactly. And Mage, welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Good to have you in here. Chumpus, welcome. We're covering the bad news about the Bethesda layoffs. You say we make you proud when we make a good game. Make us proud when times are tough. We know you can. We've seen it before. Dude, the head of Arkane, Leon, he is hitting like a truck, man. He is, oh my god, man. He is putting his job on the line here. Dude, he is saying some crazy shit. Crazy shit. For now, great teams are sunsetting before our eyes again, and it's a fucking gut stab. Leon is safe, but please be tactful and discerning about this, and respect affected folks' voice and leave it room to be heard. It's their story to tell, their feelings to express. Inside baseball, but if I read immersive sim curse from the community, especially from a fellow game dev, I swear to God, please let's talk about the real challenges instead of rehashing irrational anxieties of the past. Even more inside baseball, but with a very, very wide range, as a wise and sorely missed man once said, please stop. I don't know what he's talking about, but the rest of what he's saying I completely agree with. This is absolutely what is going on. So he's basically, for all intents and purposes, saying that good companies, good game developers are being fucking axed because executives wanted a shitty games as a service game. And it was a clear miscalculation on Microsoft's part. This dude, Dinga Bakaba, I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I do apologize. He is spitting. He is spitting, man. Oh my God. So yeah, it looks like there's some real big issues being said in Microsoft Game Studios and Bethesda specifically. That is brutal, man. That is brutal. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. This is a loss from the lesser impact of Starfield than people wanted, and the massive, especially the massive loss of Redfall. We're actually also seeing this as another example in the games industry, which is very sad. In CA, they were forced by Sega to make Hyenas, and that was a $250 million loss. Game did not even come out. It was a massive game amount that was trying to be basically forced to be released as an extraction games of service game, and because of that game having a massive loss, even though Total War Warhammer 3 has essentially righted the ship with the newest releases and everything like that, that game is being sunsetted. Like, there are only going to be 5 more updates by, it's kind of like insider information. So we're not exactly sure, is it 4, is it 5, is it 6, is it 2 years worth of content, whatever it is. But whatever the number is, it is clear that Total War Warhammer 3 is being sunsetted over the next couple of years. And it's really sad because the game is now has officially righted the ship. And I think we have more stories to tell. We have more characters that could be added in, and we could have a really good game for probably another 5 years if we wanted to. But we're not going to be able to. And it's because of Hyenas. It's because of these miscalculations and blind spots from these goddamn fucking executives ruining yet more games, more good developers. I fucking hate this shit. Dude, we've seen this so much in gaming. Oh my God, it pisses me off, man. It pisses me off when we see, good games, good developers get ruined. And this is another example. We will never get another Dishonored game. We will never get another Evil Within game. These HifiRush people, they'll never be able to make another HifiRush style game. We might get lucky that a couple of them may strike gold and, be able to form a new studio or something. But the chances of that are extremely slim. It's hard to do this kind of thing. It's a very, very big issue, guys. It's a very, very big issue. And yeah, sorry, I got heated, but I will always give to you straight. I will always give you the real information. And, these game companies have got to get it fucking together. They need to realize that, sometimes you don't want to put $250 million into some dog shit games and service game that has a bad idea from the get-go. Just because your marketing director has told you, yeah, vampires are hot right now, man. Yeah, games as a service is hot right now. We could be the next Fortnite. We can go after that Fortnite money. Don't listen to those fuckers. Fire them. Those asshole executives are the ones that need to be fired. They're the ones that need the axe. What we need are good, single A, double A games like we used to have. Like the HifiRush. HifiRush had a good amount of development put into it, and it made absolute bank. It was just a good game. What happened to the days that we got really good double A, single A, sometimes not even A level games? And they didn't cost too much to make. And they were just a damn good game that sold well. We used to have these games all the time. We do still have them. But I'm saying that we used to have these games that are published by Bethesda, that were published by these larger game companies still. Right now, we only have them as indie games. And it's really sad to see that, large game developers have forgotten what makes games successful. They listen to marketers. They listen to fucking dog shit games as service aficionados thinking that they can make the next goddamn Fortnite without giving a Fortnite level quality. And instead, we have developers that work hard. They try their best with a shit situation. And you know what they get for it? They lose their fucking job. I'm tired of it. There we go.